Hey everybody, welcome to episode 37 of the Fiberista Files. I'm Heather, if you're just joining me. Most of you know that already. Today is Sunday, June 12th, 2011. It is the day after my grandmother's 96th birthday, so happy birthday, Grammy. Alright, I do have show notes for this episode. There's 3 pages, so I kind of have a lot to talk about this week, so I hope you guys are ready. Okay. Why don't I start with the dye pots? Yay! Finally, I can show you guys what I've been dyeing this past month because the show that I just did is the last one I'm going to have for a couple of months. So everything that didn't sell is going to go in the shop update. If you hear the door, that's my husband. Don't worry about it. The shop update is not going to happen all at once. It's going to take. What was that? Nothing, okay. The shop update's going to take 2 weeks because there's simply too much to put all in one update. And especially if somebody can't afford to or is in a spot where they can get anything this week, then at least they'll have another shot next week. That being said, tomorrow's update is huge and is probably 3 times the size of the updates I usually do. So there's going to be lots there to grab a hold of. Now, where I have the big cartel shop now instead of the Etsy store, I can actually post everything that I'm going to have in the update, and you can look at it, you can peruse it, you can read all of the things, you can take your time and decide what you want. All of those things are listed as coming soon, so you can't actually buy them and put them in your cart yet. Tomorrow night when I do the update, and tomorrow's update is going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, not 6 p.m. like I usually do. I had some international people tell me that it was kind of late for them to stay up and for the updates, and they were sad because they missed out because the stuff that they wanted was gone in the morning. So I'm backing it up by an hour. That's like 11 p.m. in Germany, so England 10. I don't know. It's still late, but hopefully not as late. So the shop update will be at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, in that update will be sock yarn, all of the sock yarn that didn't sell, all of the worsted weight yarn that didn't sell, superwash merino slash tencel, the 50-50 blend, the Corriedale cross fiber, spindle kits, which have Corriedale cross fiber in them as well. There will be 4 of those this week and 3 of those next week, and there will be 6 standalone spindles as well of various weights and finishes. So it's going to be quite a bit. I wrote it all down. The stuff that I highlighted is the stuff that I have listed so far, and I still have all of this and all of this to go. So there's a lot there. It's going to be good. It's going to be good, and I'm excited about it. Next, let's see. Yeah, so everything's in the shop. You can go look at it. Not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, next week. I'll talk about it more next week, but there will be the lace yarn and bulky yarn that didn't sell, as well as Polwarth, Falkland, fibers, superwash BFL fiber, hand spun yarn, which I haven't talked about at all. Spindles, there'll be another 6 spindles then, and there'll be 3 kits. So if you don't see anything that really trips your trigger on the shop this week, then come back next week and hopefully you'll find something there. That's one of the best things I like about the big cartel shop is that you really do have time. Well, you'll have about 24 hours by the time this comes out. Maybe you'll have less. You'll have about 21 hours from the time this comes out to look at everything and see what you like. So everything should be up by the time this episode airs tonight. All I have left to list are the worsted and the kits, and just the worsted yarn and the kits. That's all. So that should all be up before this episode goes live. So go over and click. It is http://shop.highlandhandmades.com, and I'll put that. It should be right here. You should have just seen it, and that'll be in the show notes as well. So go to the shop, check it out, pick what your favorites, and then when it comes 5 o'clock tomorrow, you can nab it all, and yay, you can win. All right. I will also be ordering more yarn and fiber on Monday. I have some custom requests for a new, some lace weight yarn in a different base. I'm going to do an 80% merino, 20% silk base. So I'll be expanding the lace yarn. It won't be black cherry lace. It'll be another form of cherry. see the whole tree theme. And the sock yarn, I'm also going to get a new sock yarn base to add to the one that I have now. The sock yarn that I have now is a really good workhorse yarn, but it's not super soft, not super shiny. I'd like something a little bit different. So we're going to do that as well. So I'm going to have more new sock and lace bases. I'm going to order more Corriedale fiber, and then I'm probably going to order something I haven't ordered yet, either a new wave yarn or some new fibers. I haven't decided. I'm going to look through my suppliers lists and pick something that I like that I haven't worked with. So that'll be exciting. I can't wait. I can't stinking wait. All right, processes. I have two processes to share today. If you're on my Plurk, you might have heard of this first one. The first one was that I created 2 Evernote files this week. Evernote, if you haven't seen it, is an online warehouse basically for your brain. You can create documents, you can clip files from the internet, you can post photos, you can do whatever you want, and you can access it from any computer anywhere. So if I'm at the public library, I can get on one of their computers and access it. They also have an app for your phone. So if you see something and you're out shopping, you can take a picture of it with your phone and send it to your Evernote. So that if I were to see a colorway or a picture of something that was really inspiring, I could snap a picture, send it to my Evernote, and it would stay there. What I did with the Evernote files was I created 2. The first one are all of my colorway descriptions. For example, if I looked at Life's Lemons, and that's a colorway I've dyed it several times. Well, in order to stay consistent across times that I've dyed it, I took from my Etsy shop, took a sold item that was Life's Lemons, copied the colorway description, put that in my Evernote. I did that with every single colorway that I've done. Now that took a really long time, but going forward, it'll be really easy for me when I dye up a colorway a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth time, that it will all be written for me. All that work will be done. So all I have to do is highlight it, copy it, and paste it in the Big Cartel screen where I list my stuff. That's going to save me a ton of time. So happy about that. The other file I created was a fiber and yarn info page. So like the content, yardage, weight, gauge, all of that stuff that I do for the sock yarn, that's in the Evernote file. So all I have to do is copy and paste that. I don't have to write all Highland Handmades fibers are dyed with professional dyes and then heat set and then rinsed in plain water. I don't have to write that anymore. That's just on there. So all I have to do is copy and paste. This update, I've already noticed, has gone lightning fast compared to previous ones because I don't have to type anything. It's just copying and pasting. And of course, if I have a colorway that comes out a little bit wrong or there's a red spot or something, I will be able to add that. But overall, it's going to save me a lot of time. So I'm really excited about that. The other process I wanted to tell you about was that, I already told you, actually. I put everything on the Big Cartel site as coming soon so that you guys can see it. That's easier for me than showing you every single colorway here, especially on big updates like the one that I'm doing. It'd be half an hour of, this is Pride and Prejudice, this is Emma, this is out of Africa. Like, it would just be ridiculous, and I would have yarn all over the place, so go look at the shop, go see everything, it's all there. So, yay! First page of notes is done. Okay, page 2, growth. I am not going to be working this summer. This will be the first summer I have had off in 3 or 4 years. It's been a long time. 3 years, I think. Not since my wedding. My 4th wedding anniversary is the end of this month, so it hasn't been since that summer after I got married. So this is like the first one in 4 years. I haven't worked. I am going to instead focus on Highland Handmades. I wanted to do summer school this year, but they have a bare bones summer school going on this year in my school district because they are closing the elementary school, and that's going to take up a lot of manpower and time, and they're just not having the number of kids that they have had in the past. They just don't have a place to put anybody right now. Well, schools are changing and closing and everything else, so I'm not going to be a summer school instructor, and that's okay. There are probably big changes afoot for us anyway, so it'll be better that I'm home. This area, I could go back to Rite Aid probably, but no. Just no. I'm not going back there ever. Not that there's anything wrong with it, I can't do retail anymore. The irony of that is I own my own business. Isn't that funny? Anyway, So I'm going to try to live off of Highland Handmades and Intention Yarns, which needs to be resurrected here quite quickly. I haven't done much with that lately, and that's too bad because it's an awesome thing. So expect to see more updates. Expect to see more blog posts, more buzz, more Ravelry posts, things of that nature to come. More bases. I may experiment with some new dye techniques. I have a fiber dyeing technique that I want to try that I haven't ever seen anybody do. That should be really interesting. And I hate to say this on the podcast, but I may make a very limited excursion into self-striping. I don't really want to do it. It's a lot of work. And I think the people who do it, Fiber Nymph, Keegan Lane, Keegan Lane, is she self-striping? I can't remember. There are a lot of really awesome self-striping sock yarns out there. I think it would be neat to do some of my regular colorways in the self-striping, like Empress or Midnight Lavender or what else do I do that's a really good popular colorway? Poetic, maybe. To do some of those in a self-striping and see, if there's any interest. We'll see. I'm not making any promises, but if I've got the time, I might as well try and see what people have to say. I have a little bit more research to do before I can say that for sure. But if you'd like to see self-striping Highland Handmades, let me know. Leave a comment on the blog, email me at heather@highlandhandmades.com, talk on the Ravelry group, plurk me, Facebook me, Twitter me, I don't care. Get a hold of me and let me know what you think. Yeah, let me know. I also will be designing some more. I have 2 designs that just need to get written up and out to test knitters. They're all done. I just haven't written them up. That needs to be done soonish. I also I'm going to be designing and then knitting a circular pie shawl as well. I'm going to be buying the Elizabeth Zimmerman book. Knitting Around, I think, is the one that she used with, that she did the pie shawl in. I have to check on that. But I just want to get a feel for what she had to say about it before I design my own. I've got the motifs. I think I know what I'm doing, but we'll see. So maybe there'll be a knit along at some point this summer with Highland Handmades Black Cherry Lace Yarn or the new lace yarn. We'll see. Stay tuned. That's exciting. Okay. I'm going to stick my knitting section in here after growth, but before grabby hands. I have been knitting. It's been kind of nice. I have taken some time when I'm not dying for shows. Miraculously, there's hours in my day that I didn't have before. It's pretty amazing. I finished the Wendy Knit Summer Mystery Shawl. If you have not finished and you don't want to see it, don't look for the next couple minutes. Last week's podcast with Katie, I still had the last clue to do, and I have done it. It is finished and blocked. You can see there's one point that sticks out further than the rest. Yeah. Oh well. It's not perfect. I don't care. I love it. This is done out of Highland Handmades Sugar Maple Sock Yarn in the greener side colorway. This is the colorway that I did not sell, this particular one, because there are some red spots in it, which I'm not even going to try and find for you right now. I absolutely love the way it came out. Maybe I should do like Steven and I can't do this. I have to learn how to wear shawls because I don't really know. Covering up my new Walden t-shirt. What a dork. I'm such an English teacher. Okay, so here's my summer mystery shawl. It's blocked. I love it. That last clue totally took me half an hour. I did that Saturday night after we got done podcasting and I got back to my Grammys. It was hard for me to stay awake. I was so tired, but I got it finished. I did not get to block it until I got home. I think I blocked this on maybe Monday or Tuesday. It's so hard for me to remember things. My brain is fried. But I blocked it early this week. It took a day to dry. It dried super quick, and it, folds into a nice, neat little package. That technically is for me because I'm going to use it as a shop sample in my booth to show off alternate uses of Highland Handmades yarn. So you can drape it over a display or put it on the table or something and say, hey, look what you can knit out of less than a skein of sugar maple sock. I had The shawl took 252 yards and 68 grams. I did the math. I have 40 grams left over. That is enough for a pretty tall sock. One pretty tall sock. This is significant. I'm not sure exactly yet what I'm going to do with this. I may knit hat and mittens and booties for my brother and sister-in-law's baby that will be coming in, I don't know, January-ish. January or February, hard to say. But that's a good size. It's a good size amount left. I could have done extra repeats, I just didn't. So that's that. What else have I been knitting? I am everything all laid out for me over here so I don't have to bend over or turn around. I've been knitting on the La Vie de Bois. Hasn't been getting a whole lot of love simply because every time I get started on it, somebody needs me or I have to go somewhere and do something. I have done the repeats for the foot. I am now ready to begin increasing for the gusset. Again, this is done toe up so that I increase for the gusset instead of decrease. And I don't have to pick up stitches, which is excellent. So this is knit out of String Theory yarn Nexus base. Colorway is Kelp. I bought this 2 years ago at a Fiber Frolic. And I love this yarn. I love the way it looks. I love the way it knits up. I'm sad that they don't have a Nexus base anymore. I did see them at this year's Fiber Frolic, and they had some other really good bases, but nothing that really blew my socks off. So that's that. Gir Soleil, I've done maybe 10 more points. I'm not even going to show that to you because it's huge and it looks pretty much the same as it did. I would really like to get that done this week. I have school. I have a whole day on Monday. And then Tuesday is a half-day student day, and I work the rest of that day. By the end of the day on Tuesday, by 2 o'clock on Tuesday, I'm done for the summer. So stick a fork in me. I'll be home. So I really hope to get that done this week. We'll see how that goes. But hopefully this week. I'm about 150. I'm probably about halfway, maybe a little bit less than halfway done at this point. So let me see what else. Since I finished the Summer Mystery Shawl, I have an empty project bag. That would be this one, the Katie bag that she made me from Knitting on the Fly. So I need something else to put in that. I'm going to knit something else for the shop, a shop sample, but I'm going to knit with yarn that I haven't knit before. I'm going to be knitting the Starving Artist hat. I'm going to knit the slouchy beret version, which I printed this in black and white so you can't really see, but there's the beautiful Laura Linneman, who wrote the pattern. I'm going to knit the Starving Artist out of my own basswood bulky yarn right here. This is basswood bulky yarn in the terracotta pot colorway. This is charcoal gray, some lighter grays, and some deep terracotta style oranges. So that's pretty cool. My husband likes this colorway. I like this colorway. I have a charcoal gray pea coat in the winter, so yes, it's going to be a shop sample, but it's also going to be for me to wear in winter. So I'm excited to do that. One skein will do the Starving Artist hat with some left over. One of my Plurk friends, Crafty Deb, has knit this Starving Artist hat twice out of 2 different skeins of basswood bulky. So I know it can be done. I can't wait to do it. I'm excited about it. I have my needles and everything. I didn't want to buy needles, and my Gir Soleil is using my Knit Picks 10.5. So since this is knit on a 10.5, you need double points. I have those crappy inox needles. These ones are actually plastic. The smaller sizes are made out of metal, but I don't know if they thought that was too heavy or what the deal was, but they're plastic. I'm using the 4th one right now to knit back and forth in Gir Soleil, so we'll see. And then I also have the Clover Bamboo 10.5. They're just what I have. I've never even taken them out of the package. I don't like knitting with bamboo. But they're what I've got, and that's what I'm going to knit, and it's going to be good, and it's going to be quick, and I can't wait to show that off. So hopefully, maybe I can do that in a week. It won't be next week. This week. This is Sunday. It won't be this week. Maybe next week. We'll see. So, that's that. Now, Blah, blah, blah. Okay. I have been doing some spinning. I am this, well, okay, I'm about this close to being finished with some CJ Copac fiber that I've had on the wheel for like 6 months. It's Shetland that's beautiful, very dark, browns, grays, rust, burgundy, blue, really pretty, but I'm spinning it fine and it's taking me a really long time. So I'm almost done that, and I took a break from that for a little bit to work on my Navajo plying. I can Navajo ply like nobody's business on the spindle, but when it comes to the wheel, I stink at it. This is just a sample that I had spun up at a show and was just sitting there as singles. So I took the center pull ball that I had wound this off into, and I tried to practice Navajo plying. From there, you can see it's wicked uneven. Of course, it's not going to focus because my camera doesn't have autofocus. Talk about that in a minute. But it's probably a heavy worsted to a bulky, depending on the section. Maybe I'll make some sort of felted monster or something. Who knows? But so I haven't been spinning. I have a lot. I don't stash yarn, but I do stash fiber. I have a lot of fiber that needs spinning. That's the other thing that's going to be worked on this summer, is some spinning. I'm going to be doing some spinning for sale, but also for myself. So that's coming up. Now, I have mentioned before that I don't really buy yarn and fiber. I don't very often purchase anything. Unless I'm at a show and there's special stuff at shows, I kind of give myself a little bit of forgiveness at fiber events. Because they don't happen that often, and you're right there and you can smush it. You don't have to worry about the internet, you know, not being what it looks like online. You can just see it and touch it. So I buy stuff at shows. And I win a lot of stuff online. People have contests all the time, and I'm fortunate enough to win fairly often. I've won Malabrigo, I've won Handmaiden, I've won some good stuff. So I don't really buy yarn and fiber, and I'm pretty unapologetic about it. I just don't need a lot of stuff. So I have fallen down the last 2 weeks badly. I mentioned 2 podcasts ago that I had caught a Fiber Nymph Dye Works update, and I had nabbed some Reese's Pieces yarn. And I have to show this to you because it's so just amazing. So it is from Fiber Nymph Dye Works. She is on Etsy. And this is the yarn. I've caked it up. This is Reese's Pieces colorway, and she's spot on. I have Reese's Pieces up in my craft room, and I totally like held some against the yarn, and this is it. This is exactly it. Oh geez, I dropped it. Dog hair. This is self-striping. This is going to be a pair of self-striping socks with an afterthought heel. I've never done the afterthought heel, so there's the process knitter in me coming out. I'm going to do the afterthought heel. I counted the repeats, and I think there's between 24 and 25 repeats of each color. So I've figured out if I take a couple off so that the heels match, then that's like 22. So that's really 11 stripes per sock. That's significant. So I know how tall my socks can be. I'm really excited. That yarn is the Amble base, which is 100% superwash merino. It's about 400 yards. Yeah, I'm excited. So Reese's Pieces yarn. That makes me happy. Now, let's see. Some of these things I didn't buy. Some of these were gifts. That one I bought. I also bought some fiber from Keegan Lane Yarns. Now, Keegan Lane Yarns had an update the same time Fiber Nymph did, or right the same weekend or something, a couple days later maybe. And there was this Fraggle Rock sock yarn that I really wanted. I am a Fraggle Rock fanatic. Love Fraggle Rock. But I didn't get the yarn because I had just, sorry, my nose is itchy. I had just bought yarn from Fiber Nymph, and I don't buy yarn. It was the first yarn I'd bought all year, probably. Not gonna buy more yarn. So I let it go. And when I went back, it was gone. So I was like, good. No temptation there. But then a week later, or a couple days later, however long or later it was, she did a fiber update, and she had Fraggle Rock fiber. This is in a bag, so I'm sorry for the crinkles, but there is mauve and lavender and green and some like very pale tans and browns. Maybe it's not green, maybe it's brown. There's a little bit of like sea green in there. This is freaking gorgeous. How can you not love that? This is 4 3/8 ounces, or 122 grams, of the Rock and Rowan Merino Tencel blend, 50/50. And that colorway is Fraggle Rock. So I will be spinning that up sometime this summer once I get the whole Navajo plying thing on my wheel down. And Amelia Bella and Melissa and Lisa are so cool because they gave me a little like freebies from Fiber Nymph. I got this "Every Day is a Good Day to Die" pin. And she sent some candies and stuff too. And then I got a pin from Keegan Lane Yarns that has the His and Hers podcast button. If you're not watching that, you should. And I was super stoked that I also got the little stitch marker because I was afraid with fiber I wouldn't get one and I really wanted one. So I got a cool little star stitch marker there. And then she also gave me some Smarties because I was so smart. And her prices were fantastic. They're better than mine. Just saying. Alright, then I was gifted some fiber. And my friend Alexia had heard that I had that horrible yak fiber. It's not horrible. It's nice yak fiber, but he happened to have dandruff. That's back there. I had 5 ounces of scurfy yak that I will spin up soon-ish, maybe. It's still in timeout. Right there. So she sent me some fiber from Plum Crazy Ranch and Fiber Art, which is out of Langlois, Oregon. And she sent me Camel, which is 17 to 18 microns. And she sent me some Yak, a little bit lighter than the one that I have. That's 17 to 18 microns. She sent me, just free, just because she felt bad for me because I had scurfy fleece. She sent me these 2 samples. I'm going to be spinning these up. I don't know if I'll be wheel spinning it or spindle spinning it. I tried spindle spinning alpaca and hated it, but I'm wondering if this would be... I'll try it. I'll sample it. We'll see. I'm a better spindle spindler than I am a wheel spinner, and this is very small amounts of fiber, so I can't really get as bored as I do with spindle spinning. So, we'll see. That was a gift from Alexia, so thank you, dear heart, for that. Now, I went to Fiber Frolic. And you saw Fiber Frolic on Saturday after I'd bought that. I had purchased a pound of this, which is white merino. And this camera is, there's no way. I'm going to have to photograph it, I think, and take a picture of the crimp because it's ridiculously crimpy. It's not going to focus, don't even. But so I bought a pound of the white. And I had bought a black, or almost black, Cotswold Romney cross. So the next morning, my husband went with me, and I ended up, the crimp of that merino totally seduced me. I was just lost. So I bought some dark gray merino. This almost has the color of like carbonized bamboo. It's got that really dark gray to it, but with a little bit of ashy tips. So this is the same farm. This is merino, but it is a dark gray, dark grayish brown. Got a pound of that. And then my husband wanted me to get this. And this is, I bought half of the fleece. So this is about 2.5 pounds of another Cotswold Romney fleece, but it is gray and it has beige tips where they've kind of cooked in the sun. I don't believe this, this was not a coated fleece, but it has a nice amount of curl to it. And he's going to process this. I'm going to teach him how to process this fiber, and he's going to do it himself. So, and I think he's going to spin it himself too, because he has learned to spin a little bit, especially where he makes the spindles. So, more power to him. I'm excited. Then he'd given me some money for my birthday, which is what all the purchases came from at Fiber Frolic. And he's like, well, you haven't bought any yarn. You bought the fleece. And I bought that bat from Enchanted Knoll Farm, that Heavenly Day. And I'd also bought the very Day Glow Bright Merino Bamboo blend from Mad Color. I hadn't bought any yarn. So across the aisleway from me in the barn was Good Karma Farm. They're based out of Belfast, Maine. This is their logo. You've probably seen them on Ravelry. I know I have. Good Karma Farm. This is a worsted weight, 60% wool, 40% alpaca blend. And it doesn't have a colorway name, at least not that I can see, unless it's on the inside of the tag. But it doesn't, it doesn't have to. It's just a blend of blues. It is unbelievably smushy. They spin this themselves. They are Good Cumber Farm and Spinnery. So they blend the wool and spin it themselves. It really almost has so much bounce and loft to it that it almost looks bulky to me. It's a very heavy worsted, but in 110 grams, it's 210 yards. So it's like an Aran weight. I'm excited about this. I have no idea what it's going to be. None. Don't care. It's pretty. And then I gave my husband, hey, could you give me the cow picture? It's on my table. Should be underneath the girasole. I handed him what was left of my money and said, I'll stay here. Go find me something. Go pick me out something. And he picked out 2 things for me. And the first thing was this really cute print of, I'm going to try it without the glare, of a hairy cow. I love hairy cows. This is a Highland cow, I believe is the name of what it's called. It's a hairy cow. I think it's cute.
His name is George.
His name is not George.
His name is George.
His name is not George. I haven't decided what his name is yet, but he's adorable. I love him. That's going to go in my craft room so I can look at it. And then he went to Enchanted Knoll Farm because he also really likes Enchanted Knoll Farm. That's what, when his socks ever get knit, that's what his socks will be knit out of, is Enchanted Knoll Farm. That ever happens. I'm on the gusset increases. It's just going to take a long time. But he bought me this. This is Fairy Dust. You're not going to be able to see that. Probably it's too much glare. Fairy Dust sock yarn in the Blue Jay colorway. This has sparkles in it. Oh, and you can totally see the sparkles. Look at that. It's a light teal blue down into a darker blue and then deepens into a black. And there's a little bit of midnight blue right there. This is freaking gorgeous. It's a light fingering weight. It's 435 yards per 100 grams, I believe. 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% sparkles. So there's a considerable amount of sparkles in there. Don't know what it's going to be yet. Might be fingerless mitts. Might be mittens. Might be, I don't know. Something really pretty. Something I really like. We'll see. But good job of him because it's gorgeous. And I didn't even see the sparkle yarn when I went over there and bought my bat. So, lastly, wow, my hair is like ridiculous today. Sorry, probably need to shower. Lastly, my Kate of the Domesticated Darling podcast took pity on me because a couple of weeks ago she had a contest and the contest was for a hand knit apron and it was stinking cute and I really wanted it and I kept telling her how bad I wanted it and then I didn't win it. So she took pity on me and she made me one anyway because she loves me. I don't know why, but I'm accepting it because it's really cute. So this is the apron. It's light green. She even has, I don't know if you can see this, but she had like the same color green, what is it? Thread. So it all matches. It's super cute. And then there's 2 pockets. This one's a plain pocket, and this one has a little ribbon detail. Super adorable. This is way too cute to wear around the house, so I'm going to use it at shows. I always am stuffing stuff in my pockets. Fiber when I'm spinning, business cards, an ink pen, you know, change, whatever. So I'm going to be using it for that. And then she also sent me her card, Domesticated Darling. If you're not watching the Domesticated Darling video podcast, you should be. And a little lavender sachet on a wicked cute little bag. I don't know where she got that. It's adorable. So, there's that. The lavender will go in my stash cubbies because I am petrified of moths. So, thank you very much, Katie, for my wonderful, lovely apron. And I'm sure that the karma gods will be paying her back for that because she deserves it. So, we'll see. I think that was the last thing I had. Yep, that was the last thing I had. So, go over to the shop if you haven't already. Check out the fibers. Check out the colorways. See what you want. I will be catching up on all of my custom orders that I have waiting for me. So, if you have ordered something from me, if you've asked me to dye you something, please refresh my memory, remind me, email me, plurk me, Facebook me something and say, hey, this is so-and-so and I was the one who wanted this. Just so that I can check my notes and make sure that I've got everybody and got everything ready. So, until next week, happy spinning and knitting. Thanks for tuning in.